Okay, those of you who saw my previous COVID-19 videos last year might have noticed that this one doesn't have an episode number in the title. And the reason for that is just I don't want newcomers to my channel to see like episode 10 and think they have to watch all the 9 previous episodes to know what's going on, because that's just not the case. Those were just a series of videos that I did in the first few months of the pandemic, talking about the various new things happening in the world as a result of the coronavirus and how it's affected me or not affected me. So now that we're actually a year into the pandemic, I just thought I'd give an update or an overview of how that year has been going for me. Now, I did mention in a video last June that my wife and I were thinking about taking a road trip over July 4th weekend, and I never get an update on that. So to say, yeah, we did take that trip. In fact, we've taken 2 short road trips since the pandemic, one over July 4th weekend and one the first weekend of October for our anniversary. And that's pretty much the only traveling that we've done during the pandemic. And since I happen to like road trips anyway, eliminates the need to fly anywhere or use any public transportation. And they're just nice weekend getaways with my wife. Of course, we've cycled through all the holidays in the past year. Her birthday, my birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day. And for the most part, it just involves just briefly seeing my parents either in my garage or their garage with the door open, hanging out for maybe 20 minutes or so, exchanging food, and then we just go back to our respective homes and enjoy whatever good meal there was. In the last few months, we decided to start supporting some local restaurants by ordering takeout occasionally, like maybe once a week, usually on Saturday nights. For the most part, it's been restaurants in the area that I used to like to eat out at, that we hadn't been to since before the pandemic. And now they pretty much all have a takeout option, and a lot of them even have a way of ordering online. Some have curbside pickup, others you just walk in and just grab your food off the table. And a lot of them do have indoor seating now. There was a period for a couple of months there, like December and January, when they had to close down just because there was kind of a surge in coronavirus cases. But they're back open now. But my wife and I are still choosing the takeout option just because we don't really feel a need to eat in the restaurant. We're still supporting their business, by ordering takeout and just bringing it home. And it's just a matter of I just don't see the need for the extra risk in sitting indoors where everyone has to take off their masks to eat. And my thing about that is if other people really want to eat inside the restaurant, I don't really have a problem with that. I'm just choosing not to. Bringing typology into this. My wife and I are both extreme introverts, and so we're totally fine with all these extra safety precautions we've had to take during the pandemic. So I figured if I have no problem taking extra precautions, then why not? I mean, it is kind of an introvert thing to err on the side of, yay, an excuse not to attend social gatherings. And in that sense, it feels like it'd be kind of stupid to risk spreading the virus just to hang out with people. Some are even saying they're dreading the end of the pandemic and things returning to normal just because they're enjoying the quarantine too much. Especially with the introverted withdrawn types, the Enneagram type 9s, the 5s, the 4s, and especially the self-preservation variants of those types. Which I am all of those things. I'm an introvert, ISTP, got 9, 5 in my tri-type, self-preservation variant. So I can definitely relate to that. I've definitely been enjoying a lot of aspects about the lockdown. Just being able to work from home, attending live stream church services, having that excuse not to hang out with people, other than my wife, of course. But I do think it is kind of a selfish attitude, because the thing is, I know that the majority of people are not okay with the way things are. People are struggling with the lockdowns, especially, families with kids. They're having a hard time with schools not being open and having to do everything online. Large families being stuck with each other at home all the time. People who miss being able to hang out with extended family and friends and going to concerts and all kinds of stuff like that. So, while I'm personally enjoying most aspects about the lockdown, I still want it to end, just for the world's sake. I overall think it's a good thing that the pandemic is coming to an end and, that the vaccine is being rolled out now. And besides, it's not like there's nothing that I miss. I mean, even though I normally enjoy staying home and just communicating with friends online, the fact is, it's been more than a year since I've had a chance to really see most people in person, aside from, these little 5-minute outdoor brief exchanges or whatever. And I would still like to occasionally travel and do some cool things, see concerts or drive to Canada, fly to Hawaii, especially after our trip got canceled last year. And I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I actually miss hanging out with my parents indoors. I cannot recall any other time in my life that I've actually felt like I missed my parents. Because, it was always guaranteed that I was going to see them sometime in the next month or so. Yeah, this is what it took for that to happen. It took a year for me to miss hanging out with my ESFJ 6-wing-7 mom. Now, about the vaccine. Well, not surprisingly, my wife and I are both in the last group that's ever going to be eligible for the vaccine. Neither of us is physically at risk of dying from COVID-19. We both work from home. Neither of us has any need to interact with people. So, it totally makes sense. I'm, for those same reasons, along with everything else I just mentioned, I'm absolutely not in any hurry to receive the vaccine. So even when that time comes that I become eligible, I'm probably just going to take my time in signing up for it. I can't speak for my wife, who's an ISTJ 9-wing-1. If our annual flu shots are any indication, she'll get her vaccine several weeks before I ever get around to it. She'll want to get it done as soon as she physically and legally can, because it's the responsible thing to do. In addition to being ISTJ, I think she might have a bit of a type 6 influence. I'm not sure if she's got type 5 or type 6 in her tri-type. I don't even know if I'm right about my own tri-type. I haven't really given that much thought. But anyway, me being an ISTP, I'm just like, well, yeah, I'll get the vaccine when I actually see that there's a need for me to do so. Whenever that happens. And I don't even know what's going to trigger such a need. It'll just depend on how things go as far as the world returning to normal and my role in it. I do know that whenever I do get my vaccine, it'll be long after people are no longer lining up to get it. Because like I said, I'm, not in a hurry to get it, and I figured I'll just let all the people who are sick of the quarantine get theirs first. I imagine it's going to be like, I walk into the pharmacy and be like, hey, I'm here for my COVID shot. And they'll look at me and go, you haven't gotten your COVID shot yet? No, I don't know. In the meantime, I'm just going to continue enjoying my introverted quarantine life. Anyway, that's all I got for now.
So fast around the world. Coronavirus. Everyone being forced to live like introverts. Coronavirus. Work from home if you can. Coronavirus. Stay at least 6 feet away from where I stand.
It is kind of an introvert thing to err on the side of Yay, an excuse not to essential. Damn it.